fluky because he didn't really.
Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by A.G. Hines Company. When you need tools for home improvement projects or building materials for do-it-yourself work, you need to turn to a business with more than 100 years of proven quality, proven customer service. Well, there's only one of those to turn to. That's A.G. Hines Company. Family-owned, locally owned since 1920. It's now 2022. You can do the math. A.G. Hines Company. When I say they're proven, that's proven. Get down and see them, aghines.com, to learn more. All right. If you are Athletic Director Danny White and you're looking at Rick Barnes and his salary, and then you're looking at all the other SEC coaches and their salaries, is there anybody that, okay, if I could pull a trigger here on a trade, is there anybody out there that you would say, this makes us better? Because looking at what Rick Barnes has done at Tennessee in his time here, I think it's awfully hard to come up with more than one or two names. I would only come up with one name, which that's not a knock on Barnes. That's high praise for Barnes. Are there guys out there that I see Calipari? Is there anybody else that you would say he elevates Tennessee and will keep them out of trouble? Where are we going, guys?
I get the qualifier there.
You get the qualifier? Yeah. Throw that in.
So Will Wade's out?
I'll let you start, John.
Yeah, not really. And part of that is from Tennessee's perspective, right? Because
where you are,
if I'm Auburn, I also wouldn't trade Pearl for Barnes. So they're in a good spot too. But that still comes back to the position that Tennessee's in. Gave him the contract a few years ago after a really good run of success, and he's gotten Tennessee back to that level of success again while running a program that fans should be proud of, developing, bringing in high-level talent. So I don't know that I would trade Barnes for Calipari considering what he does for Tennessee.
I think that's a good point. Here's the other thing about Calipari. He is in a school where, to me, it's easier to recruit, right? Look at the tradition of Kentucky versus Tennessee. So if Barnes were at Kentucky and Calipari were at Tennessee, would the records be reversed a little bit? Would Barnes be in more Final Fours? I don't know. But based on the record that they have, yes, I would give a slight nudge to Calipari just because he's been to the Final Four and won a national championship. But I think Barnes is nipping at his heels, and there's nobody else in the SEC that I would rather have over Rick Barnes.
And you could go back and say Calipari at Memphis, Calipari at UMass.
That's right.
But that Calipari was more in trouble with the NCAA.
That's right.
That's more into that. If I'm an AD, do I really want to sleep well at night, or do I want to worry about when the NCAA or FBI in some cases is dropping by?
Just to be clear, there's nobody that right now that I would trade for. But I think there's two guys when you're looking at the longevity of a program. I look at Eric Musselman, Nate Oates. Those are just two younger guys, newer in their career, have won everywhere they've been. Nate Oates was in Buffalo and somehow transferred to be able to recruit at Alabama. Good X's and O's, in-game coaches, make adjustments. So those would be two guys that if you were looking at a longer-term horizon of a 10-year career that might be out there.
Barnes 67, Calipari 63, Pearl 61, so they're all kind of there. Musselman, Oates I had here as possibilities. Buzz Williams, he was at Marquette. You played in Milwaukee, so you probably know more about Buzz Williams than I do. I thought he was okay at Virginia Tech in the ACC because of where they are compared to the ACC. But I wouldn't, if I were making the trade today, none of those three guys are there. If I had to make a look to the future kind of a move, that's where I would look. But Isaiah, how many guys in the SEC? I mean, we're talking about a pretty short list when you look at what Rick Barnes has done.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't trade him for anybody. We're getting the recruits in, high-level recruits now. He's molding them. We're not getting in any trouble. And I really believe this is his best coaching job. It will prove to be his best coaching job that he's did since he's been at UT. He's thinking outside the box. We're not just playing half-court man-to-man. We're switching up the zone. We're playing a little full-court press. He's got 2 to 3 guards playing the small lineup. I think that was genius. That came along at the end of the Texas game pretty much, and we've been kind of riding that wave here and there. So he's mixing it up a lot, so good in-game coaching. So, no, I wouldn't trade him.
It's a great point. Have you seen more tweaks and changes from Rick Barnes with this year's team than you have with Rick Barnes and teams in the past? I agree with Isaiah. I think you have. I think he's been more willing to dial up some different stuff than he has in the past.
I did too, and it was interesting at the start of the year, they were going to shoot 43s a game, weren't they?
Right.
Got away from that.
Yeah.
But so that was a change that he was willing to take a look at, and after it didn't work so well earlier, now they're a little bit more judicious in their three-point attempts. But I do think he has made more adjustments with this team than I've seen before.
He loves being an inside-out guy, always has, but this year he finally realized he can't do it.
And the other thing is he's getting five-star guys, and it's hard to coach guys that are 3 stars, 4 stars, but now you got guys with NBA aspirations and getting them to buy in. That's another level of where I think it is arguably his best coaching job.
Yeah, that's part of it too. They've recruited talent and depth. Like Jonas Adu wasn't playing, and then Olivia goes out. So they plug Adu in, and he is dialed in and ready to go to help immediately. The staff deserves credit for that too.
That's the thing that's always impressed me about Calipari is people look at it and say, well, he just got a bunch of 5 stars in there every year. Well, yeah, new guys every year. And he's kind of a defense guy, too. So to get guys to come in there and play a defense-first mentality when they've all been the top scorer in the country on their team or the top 5 scorers in the country, number 1 on their team, those two, to me, are way up there. And if you're going head-to-head, Barnes has his number for now. We know what the deal is with Barnes, though. Let's take a look. Tournament struggles. This is what people talk about. He hasn't been past the Sweet 16 since 2008. Only reached 1 Sweet 16 since 2009. I get it. People are like, well, the salary is supposed to be for the Final Fours. And it wasn't. Tennessee paid him win games, compete for titles, keep the NCAA off this campus so they're not sniffing around football, and run a clean program that people can be proud of. He's done all that. I think you can make a real case. Forget the tournament stuff right now. I understand it's a tournament sport. But overall, in terms of being at this level on a national reputation basis, all right, there aren't many times Tennessee's been recruiting 5 stars and churning them out like we just talked about, and had stability. The A of the national name right now, the brand, and the B of don't have to worry about anything. Famous last words. I don't know that Tennessee's ever been here. Not Mears, not Pearl. I don't know that you've ever had this level with this level of stability.
One of the things, attendance too. They had 3 consecutive sellouts to end the year. That's the first time ever at Thompson Bowling Arena, and that's not a small arena.
Yeah.
There have been some electric atmospheres at Thompson Bowling Arena.
Kudos to the fans for that. All right, when we come back, Tennessee in the SEC Finals, Texas A&M on a roll. We'll discuss it. We'll see what Buzz Williams wants to do against the Vols today. We'll ask Mark Pankratz about that. Come on back on the Sports Source.